I did two projects that looked at interest in participating in clinical trials. And my interest in those surveys came from the fact that we were having a terrible time recruiting patients into our studies for medications for degenerative joint disease. And so it really became important to understand why. And this is an area that's looked at in human medicine and really wasn't looked at that closely yet in veterinary medicine. So first we asked cat owners about participating in clinical trials and what things would encourage them to do it and what things were deterrents for them. And so we asked about safety and whether the medications were approved in other countries and that sort of thing. And what we found was that one of the top predictors or influencers was recommendation of their veterinarian. So they really count on what their veterinarian says. And so then we needed to find out whether or not veterinarians were recommending these trials and why they would or wouldn't. So what features of the trial would encourage them, what features of the patient would encourage them. So that's where we did a survey of veterinarians. And what we found is that there is interest in participating in clinical trials, but a lot of the holdback has to do with availability of information about them, availability of information about what the requirements are, and then accessibility. So are they only at referral centers that are far away that might be inconvenient for the patient? So we found some interesting things about how we can improve our use of clinical trials, and part of it is making them more accessible, so having them be multimodal, having remote collection for some of the information, and a database, so a really centralized way of finding information about clinical trials, because right now it's very hit or miss, and they come out in different places. We asked about how people found out about them, and it was emails to the practice or a visit from the investigator, but really what we need is a centralized database, and we are moving that way in veterinary medicine. So that was a really interesting study.